Hi everybody, welcome back to the shop and welcome back to another live stream here at EP3D Studios. I'm your host Matthew, and in front of me behind you is my producer wife Emily. Say hello.
Hello.
She's going to be doing the chat stuff. She's going to be relaying your questions and chats in my direction while doing the editing stuff, and I'm going to be over here doing the 3D printing stuff. What we have in store for you today is continuing on with the Klipperizing of the Sidewinder X2. We got Klipper on it. We got, what did we do last week? I forgot.
And stuff.
The runout sensor. Wow, my brain is...
That's it, runout sensor. That's a better word for it.
Yeah. So now today we're going to be doing the input shaping setup and tuning with the Big Tree Tech ADXL accelerometer. This comes with the PAD-7, so we're doing it with the PAD-7, and the process is essentially the same. If you have just like the Big Tree Tech Pi or CB1, the connection might be a little different, but it'll be the same for the most part in your printer config. So yes, we will be configuring it with the Big Tree Tech PAD-7. Yeah.
Can we say hi?
Huh?
Can we say hi?
Let's say hi. Introductions.
Before we get started, heads up everybody, our 4-year-old is home today, so if you hear some craziness in the background, she may even decide to make a cameo with her wild and crazy outfit she chose for today, so please forgive us for any craziness.
If you hear Baby Shark in the distance, it's not us, it's her.
Right.
What if that's copyright?
We all know that's your ringtone.
Well, yeah, right. Will that get us canceled?
I don't know, can you even say that word without getting canceled?
I mean, it's Baby Shark. It's not going to get canceled.
Well,
it's not political.
Twice now.
It's not political, so
You're canceled twice.
it has nothing to do with politics or the pandemic. So
You never know. There might be a political undertone to
it
that
is.
show.
It is YouTube, and wow, they're sensitive.
Anyway, we have somebody did Google Translate, and it came up as from Poland. So we've got, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Dakota, who said, we are waiting, yeah?
Yep, I plugged that in. It said we are waiting, so...
Awesome, thank you.
Wait, you did, and thank you for your patience. And thank you for hanging out, coming in. Those of you, our European friends, we know it's getting kind of late in the evening there. We really appreciate you coming on and saying hello and hanging out with us. And that goes for everyone. Whoever joins and hangs out, we really appreciate you taking time out of your day, especially here in the States, it's a holiday, so...
All right, so we've got, and I apologize again so names, if you tell me how to, if you'd like to tell me how to pronounce them, I'm always happy to try to learn. I think it's Dakisven. Says, good evening from Germany. Thank you for coming in from Germany. Says, I hope I can learn, have an X2 and a BTT PAD-7, but the input shaper works not. And says, thank you, Ethereal Project 3D.
You are very welcome. Yeah, I replied to a couple of those comments just a few minutes ago while we were waiting.
Well, you know what? And I already told you about it, but Ira's here. Hey, Ira.
What's up,
I forget where you're from. Was it France?
I don't.
Italy? I forget, but either way, I know it's super late there, so thank you for joining us. And says, hello, the Discord link is not working. Can I have a new link? And I know you're on it, so.
Yeah, I'll have to figure that out. So, yeah. If anybody's really good with Discord and wants to help me with that, because it seems super capable, you could do a lot of cool stuff in it, so I see that as a good opportunity.
Bill Nisley is with us, says, looking forward to this and how I can apply it to my Sidewinder X1 when I finish getting it running on Klipper.
There you go.
Got a 5-inch Klipper screen running earlier today.
Oh, nice. Welcome to the party, Bill. I think you and I had messaged a little while ago, or emailed correspondence, and yeah, I think tonight we had talked about possibly talking on the telephone and helping you out over the phone tonight sometime, if you are who I think you are. Sorry, I get a lot of in the last year or so I've gotten a lot of people messaging me. I need help. So I've helped quite a bit of people. So yeah.
Why are you complaining about that, man?
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that if I forget who you are, I apologize. It's not intentional. I'm gaining some popularity here, and so I'm talking to a fair amount of people.
Your modesty is showing.
Whatever. Hey, I got a notification today that the channel hit 300,000 views.
Thank you all so
Yes,
much.
Thank you.
And Bill says that's me.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's all you guys. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And a lot of the views have been the live streams. So, because we haven't done a produced video in like 9 months. We got to get on that. It's been a year. It's been a year.
I think we've all been having some years since life got crazy in the world.
Yeah. Well, we got busy at my day job and stuff like that, so I've been working extra hours and
I think we might have somebody new on. I'm not sure I've seen this guy before. His name is Baron and says, hi, everybody.
Baron?
Who's Baron
that?
George?
Who is that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We're so glad to see you. Thanks for
Welcome,
coming. He says, waves greetings. Hi, Baron.
Welcome.
And he's trying to get us canceled. He says, mommy, shark doop doop
Oh,
doo.
my goodness. My goodness.
Baron says, Artie Discord link or your own Discord channel. I can grab the Artie link and post it here.
I have no idea what the Artie link is. I don't really know anything about Discord, so I need to learn.
If you wouldn't mind posting a link, Baron, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, if you know how to do that, do it. I think in Discord, can I make people like administrators or stuff like that?
Yeah, we can always deal with that
Figure that out
off
yeah.
camera.
So if someone wants to do a Discord,
And we have Ricardo here. I feel like we haven't seen Ricardo in a while. Thank you so much for coming. He says, hi, hope you guys are well today, and waves greeting. Nope, that was Baron who waved greetings to me. But he still says hello. And hope we're doing
hello,
well.
Ricardo. Welcome.
Thank you for coming.
all. This is going to be good times. We've already got a ton of people hanging out. I like it.
And Ray came by. Hey, Ray.
What's up,
He says, hello,
Ray?
Matt and Emily, and little assistant producer.
Little assistant producer, right? She is.
Let's see. Ira says, finally, I bought a MGN 12H rail because of the screws in the profile.
Okay, yeah.
And yes, he's from France.
France, okay.
Good remembering.
Yep. Are you putting that on the Y or X axis of your machine?
There he is. I was just going to say, and what's with Drew not here? And
There's
right as I was
Drew.
thinking about it, Drew pops up and says, what's up?
Wow.
Perfect
What's up,
timing.
Drew? So they're not limiting your internet usage up there, just electricity and gas?
They did that to us too.
For those who don't know, Drew lives in the great north, and it got real cold up there. And apparently there's the local whoever's was saying, hey, limit electricity and gas because the grid is highly, I don't know, a lot of people using their electricity and gas because it got cold.
They
So,
did that to us too. We
Yeah.
got that email too. Drew says he had to thaw out the internet, but eventually the lines cleared.
Right.
You know, he was able to get the ice out of the lines and get the internet through.
That's fair. We're thawing out a little bit today. I think we might have made it above freezing today, did we?
Oh. Meanwhile, Drew says they hit negative 52 the other day. Whew.
Yeah, our measly, 12 or 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing.
Let's see.
Although,
Baron says stand by for the link and says mod is what they're called.
a mod.
Oh, moderator. Yeah,
A
moderator. Mod.
Yes.
Oh, what is negative 52 Celsius in real measurements?
Minus 40 Celsius is minus 40 Fahrenheit, so keep going.
Negative 61.6.
Wow.
Ouch. At that point, I feel like, do you even notice it's any different, Drew? Do you notice that negative 52 is any different than
Like negative 30?
negative 20? I mean, I feel like you just get to a certain point where your cold factor, it's just cold.
It just sucks. It's just
cold.
horrible. Yeah.
Ray says it hurts to read that.
Yeah, right.
52.
Right. My goodness.
Iris says Y-axis and X.
Nice. I've not done the X-axis on this yet, but I did do the Y. On my website, I have links to like an alignment jig and the belt adapter for when you do that. So check that out.
Baron wants to know if Drew made sure that he filled out his de-icing form and paid for the tax too.
That's fair.
Did you get a permit for it?
Right.
Ooh, negative 25. Oh my goodness. It's negative 25 Celsius in Canada and Drew's in shorts. True Canadian.
True Canadian. We're over here like, we're. It's like we are to those people as Floridians are to us.
I was on a Facebook group today and somebody was in Texas saying that because it's so cold down there, they're keeping their house at a balmy 70 degrees Fahrenheit and that they're freezing and bundled up inside their house at 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Is it like?
So yeah,
Is
about
like
right.
well, Texas is big, and so there's cold parts of Texas.
Yeah, there's parts of Texas right now they're down in the 14s.
Yeah.
Teens.
Parts of the panhandle there in
How about you, Baron? How cold is it down there in frigid Louisiana?
frigid Louisiana. I mean, they got cold. I mean, they're expecting winter weather, from what I saw.
Docus Fan, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. It says it's down to -1 in Berlin, Germany.
Yeah, it gets cold in Germany. I remember I was there. I was in Kaiserslautern 12 or so years ago for Christmas. It was pretty chilly.
Bill Nisley says 66 Fahrenheit and sunny in SoCal. Actually, that's pretty cold for California, though. Southern California, you guys must be cold out there.
Be dying. Well, it depends. If you go inland a little bit, you get 20 miles away from the water. It gets chilly. I remember I lived in Ojai, and it was, it would get cold and hot, but you drive 20 minutes into Ventura, and it's like a different world.
Jugger D, I don't think I've seen in the chat before, so thank you for coming and joining us. Says
by.
after -45 Celsius, it doesn't matter much.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Everything just freezes instantly.
Drew says, oh man, that MCRN logo looks pretty sweet back
It
there.
does. Oh man, it is so cool looking. I was hoping you'd notice that. Thank you, by the way, Drew. That is really amazing. I have friends at work that are super jealous, so winning.
If you make those, if you wanted to drop a link, you're welcome to that cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that is nice quality there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have him print me one of those Rossi ships that he does, because they look really good on his Bamboo Lab printer. So I need to get me a Bamboo Lab printer.
Ooh, Barron's is supposed to get into the 20s overnight. That is cold.
That's cold for down there.
Really
That's
cold.
really
for
cold for down there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Ricardo, what it's like down there, because South America, if I'm remembering right, he's in South America. South America, it's summertime, yeah?
Ricardo, isn't he in Portugal?
Is it Portugal?
Yeah. So that's still North America.
Well, closer to the equator than we are. So I'm curious how it is down there.
Maybe.
You don't think Portugal's closer to the equator?
Might be a similar latitude. Europe is pretty far north.
Oh, you said North America.
Sorry, yeah, not North America.
So I was like,
the Northern Hemisphere. Yeah, wow. Yeah, no. Portugal's in Europe, and it's in the Northern Hemisphere. But Europe itself is pretty far north. So like London, England is the same latitude as like Canada, right? It's north of. Oof. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
we're still curious, Ricardo. How's it going? And am I right? Are you South America, or is Matt right? You're in.
We've gone through this several times.
I feel like we haven't.
We've had this conversation. This is not some Mandela effect stuff. We've had this conversation.
No, I think you're lying.
Some deja vu
Darn
nonsense.
it. Ricardo, you couldn't just lie. Come on.
Yeah, I'm totally from Argentina. Yeah. My goodness.
We have. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to do this right.
Do I need to look and read it?
They're from Argentina. So we do have somebody from Argentina. And I am curious what your weather is like. Please let me know how to pronounce your name and what that weather is like down there in Argentina.
Right.
Ricardo says it's 10 degrees Celsius there.
Ooh. That's chilly. That's not freezing, but it's you have to put a sweater on.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. So.
1 second.
I remember spending a winter in Phoenix, and it got down to like the 50s at night. And they asked me, "Do you even own a sweater?" Like, yeah, in the north, where it's snowing.
Ray says 48, where he's at, which is East Coast near. That's actually pretty warm for up there in the New York area. Like,
I thought Buffalo was getting like one of those lake effect nor'eastern things where they're going to get 8 feet of snow.
Drew says, FYI, he's literally gone in shorts all year.
I used to do that when I was in avionics school. It was during, I was there during Christmas, so we got to take a week off and go home, and it was like a blizzard in Dallas. I got stuck at the airport for an extra like 5 hours because of, well, yeah, they're not used to snow in Dallas, so that was fun. But yeah, it was shorts day.
So Damien is his name, and I'm gonna totally destroy my high school Spanish here, but
Damien from Argentina?
yeah.
Okay.
Gracias para viando hoy. Yeah, no.
Thank you.
High school Spanish is way too far away.
Something or other.
I can't.
I mean, all right, I'm just going to put this out there. I went to high school in Southern California. I didn't take Spanish, even though it was a requirement. The reason why, because I was bad enough at English, they're like, nope, you're not going to take a foreign language because you will fail. So, yeah. I think in my time living in Turkey, I learned way more Turkish than I learned Spanish while living for 16, 17 years in California. So.
Okay, I'm trying to keep up with all these chats. You guys are doing amazing today. Okay, let's see. So Drew says he doesn't have an online store up yet. He's working on it though. So when you do get it up, Drew, let us know. We'd be happy to.
Yeah, if we need help setting that up, I set my online store up. It's not that bad.
You asked for like a year and a half. You're like, please help me. But yeah, we eventually got it.
Yeah, we figured it out.
Let's see, Ricardo said 10 degrees Celsius. And he says, how's your little project doing, Matt? I've seen some nice progress and development in Facebook.
That's going really well. Actually, I could bring that up. Let me open that up.
While you're bringing that up, Ray said 48. I read that one already.
She got parts of it here, too.
And Drew says he goes out into the garage with a coat and shorts on. That's crazy. And we have Marcel. I haven't seen Marcel in a while. I feel like it's been a few months. Thank you for coming back and joining us. It says hello from Germany.
Hello, Marcel. Thank you for showing up. Yeah.
Yep. Hang on.
Is it in focus?
Kind of. It's just a little high. Did you pulled the focus in a lot, didn't you?
I put a different lens on it.
Oof. Yeah.
Well, this is kind of big. What I'm going to be showing off here is this. Can we see this?
Yeah, we can, but
the idea is to show
we're not going to be able to see putting the part on.
Right. The ringing. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. So this is before input shaping. Just the before and after, right? We want comparison. Is input shaping actually worth it?
You're catching all the light now, though. That's better. Nope. No, that's too bright. That's better.
Can you see the ringing? Can you see like the weird ghosting? Okay, we'll leave that there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Bring it back to you here. We have, it's 30 Celsius down in Argentina today.
That's so warm.
Sounds beautiful.
30 Celsius, that's like 90 something, isn't it? High 80s? Oh, sounds amazing.
Let's see. Drew says, yep, they can see the ringing. And Ira says, I use 2 rail for my x-axis. I find an STL, but for the X1, I had to make a small modification.
Okay. Well, that's going to be rigid.
Let's see. All right. Go for it.
On here? All right, well, we're loading up 175 components. I have all this stuff backed up on Google Cloud, so it takes a little while to open. That way I can go from machine to machine and work on it.
Well, that's working. Marcel wants to know, what do you think about a stealth burner tool head upgrade on the X2?
I've seen people do it, and I mean, if you're familiar, I mean, not familiar with the stealth burner, they're a really quality tool head. What? Wow. It's okay. We don't have to stop at 4 o'clock a day.
No, I mean, we got 20 people hanging out with us right now.
20 people. I thought you said, it's been 20 minutes. Oh, we got 20 people. Oh,
it has been 20 minutes.
So yeah, the stealth burner is totally cool. You can get the STL files or download or buy kits from, I think, LDO, KB3D, a few others have it. You can find them on AliExpress too. Super cool. That's a very quality tool head, and it's something I thought about doing on my little project here, but I don't want to. I want it to be more my own. Now there are things that have been heavily inspired from the likes of Rat Rig, VZBot, Voron, and whatnot. But I kind of took those and kind of made it my own, put my own little spin on it, my own flair. So, what's up?
Oh, we got chats going for days. This is
Good.
awesome.
This is good.
This is awesome. Attila or Atia? I can't decide. Says hello, all rookie Klipper guy here.
Rookie Klipper.
Hello, all rookie Klipper guy
Rookie
here.
Klipper guy. All right.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, rookie Klipper guy. Hopefully, after today, you'll be less of a rookie.
Yeah, definitely took you a little while, but we got it. Yeah, we got it. What?
I'm saying he'll be less of a rookie
No,
after
I'm saying
learning.
it took you a while.
Oh yeah, it took me a while, but I figured it out. And there's still certain things where I scratch my head and have to Google. And I spend a lot of time when I'm playing with this stuff. I spend a lot of time on like the GitHub and the Klipper website because there's a ton of good information there. Just deciphering where it all is. So, shall we show the people my little project?
Well, first of all, Damien says it's a nice model. Ray says, don't forget to tap the like button. Thank you.
Yes, tap the
Thank you,
like
Ray.
button. Feed the algorithm.
Vladimir, thank you for joining us. Vladimir says, do you think Klipper upgrade... Let me change back to you. There we go. Do you think that the Klipper upgrade on the Sidewinder X2 is a must-have?
I wouldn't say it's a must-have. You can the printer out of the box is a decent machine. There are a few small tweaks that could be done in the Marlin firmware that I think is beneficial. But overall, it does fine on Marlin for normal stuff. If you want to get more speed out of it, Klipper does. It helps big time. I would never consider Klipper a must on a machine like this. Is it a nice to have? Absolutely. What'd you do?
It's thinking. It kicked me out.
It kicked you out?
Kicked me out. It says I'm offline.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're just going to give it a second.
Okay, sorry everyone if we're pausing or broken here. Technical difficulties. What?
It's thinking. Chats are still coming in, so that's something worth something, right?
Okay.
I haven't had that happen in a while.
Yeah, it's been
That's
a minute.
weird.
Yeah.
Let's see. Andy agrees and says it's definitely worth it. Put it that way.
Worth it for sure, yeah. Not a must, but definitely worth it. Once you, the initial learning curve is quite steep. It can be it's very overwhelming at first because there's a lot you can do with it. But once you kind of figure out like the basics of how it works, the mystery of it kind of disappears. And you're like, oh, okay. And it's just figuring out mainly syntax and stuff like that for editing the configurations. And if you know anything about Python, it's all Python based. So if you know how to do Python code, you could do just so many cool things with it. Not to mention the web interface. And there's a cool app called Mobile Raker on Android. I'm pretty sure they got it on Apple too. And it's another way of connecting to your printer through an app as opposed to through a web browser. And it's pretty good. I mean, you can get your macros and all that kind of stuff, webcam, notifications, all that stuff from it's pretty cool. So
Drew says he's super happy with Klipper on his Sidewinder X2.
Yep.
And Baron says it's a nice Kiwo L upgrade.
quality of life.
Makes sense.
Right.
Let's see. For Marcel's question about the stealth burner, Baron answered that he'll lose a couple of millimeters with Z with the stealth burner.
It hangs down a little lower. Yeah.
And Marcel says that's true, but it's okay for me.
I mean, 400 millimeters is a lot. So like my machine I'm designing, it's only got 350 millimeters in the Z. So, but you could make it more if you wanted because it's going to be modular.
Let's see, and where'd it go? Yes, Attila. That's a great answer. Says, nice weather here, and the best part is as my brain stopped reading, so I saw nice weather here, 215 degrees Celsius.
You live on the sun?
On my nozzle.
Oh.
50 degrees Celsius in my head. So I was wondering too, I was like, wait a minute. Even if that was Fahrenheit, that would still be...
And your air conditioner must be going hog wild right now. I think an air conditioner could work in that heat.
Right.
It'd explode.
And he also says your K1's got a nice clown hat back there.
Oh, you like that? The dunce cap? Yep.
When you put the cube on the top, so if you're looking at it really small, it looks like it's like a little a little pom-pom on the top.
It does. I'm not saying that the K1's special or anything like that, but you know, it's fitting. It's actually,
like it.
with the new extruder, it's a good machine.
I like it. If you're a beginner, the K1's not bad.
Yeah.
I imagine if you've even touched a Bamboo Labs, it's kind of
if you have any experience with a Bamboo Lab printer, the K1 feels like just an unfinished thing. But if you compare the K1 with, if Bamboo Lab didn't exist, the K1 is a solid machine. But in Bamboo Lab, they really cranked up the competition. So, but the K1 wouldn't exist if the Bamboo Lab didn't exist. So it's kind of a hindsight's 2020 situation. So.
Let's see. We've got Marcel says Klipper on my Genius Pro and X2 super stable system. Love it. And Drew says, what? Only 350 millimeters on the Z? I'm out.
Well, as I said, it's modular, right? So that's with 500 millimeter ball screws. So for every extra 50 millimeters, it's more modular.
We'll flip over in a second.
Yeah.
Let's see. Brad R. I don't know if we've seen you before. Thank you for dropping by. It says first time on a live event after finding you through Facebook group and followed the Klipper install. Looking forward to learning more from you through the tutorials. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Happy to have you here.
And Attila says, of course I recognize the Rubik's Cube. Cannot miss it.
Are you a cuber too?
All right. We'll switch you back over here. And then
all right, and then we can get started. Okay, so...
And Baron says, Drew, where are the modules on the dashboard located in case you want to move things around? Curious at this point only.
Okay.
So we got a little conversation going on there.
That's fine. So this is the Ethereal Project 3D Core XY machine. We haven't come up with the name just... We have some ideas. We've brainstormed and stuff like that. But this is just something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And I finally started the design about a month ago. A little before, was it after? I don't know. I've been working on it pretty steady for a good few weeks. So things about it, 40/40 extrusions all the way around for the structure, with a few smaller ones for the cross in the back here for the Z-axis, this screw here. But I want to do 3-point trimming, similar to the rat rig. So a lot of this is going to be very similar to the rat rig.
Ooh.
What?
Drew says his machines are off at the moment. He doesn't want to talk about it.
Oh.
Drew, it's okay. This is a safe space.
It is a safe space. Safe space for 3D printers. Yeah, and so these blue bits here are going to be aluminum, and they will be CNC machined, and all that stuff, fun stuff. NEMA 23 stepper motors from LDO, and I'll be running 48 volts to the stepper motor. So the main board is going to be a Manta, probably an M8P, running 5160 Traumatic drivers. Klipper, obviously. Yeah, so this is going to be fun, and I'll end up doing an enclosure and stuff for it. And right now, tentatively, I'm looking at the Big Tree Tech or the BQ V2S Revo extruder, or the light extruder. It's the same form factor as the normal V2S Revo. It's just like 30 or 40 grams lighter. It's super cool. Very capable, very light extruder. I like it. So yeah, this is kind of what's going down.
Baron says, I will hug it and squeeze it and call it George.
Yeah, we'll call it George, right? So silly things like the X and Y stepper motors are flippity flops like this. That wasn't exactly what I wanted, but because I'm running the gantry dead center of this 40 millimeter extrusion here, the LDO motors, the axle, the spindle, doesn't have very much stick out, and so on one of them it would be sticking out and not really holding on to the spindle very well. So by flipping them, it's much better. It's got more grip on the spindle, and I couldn't find NEMA 23s with longer spindles that were appropriate for this application. So the LDO ones are kind of specifically made for high-speed 3D printers, and they get nothing but good reviews, and I want to try them out. So, and a lot of people are like, you know, you don't need NEMA 23s, you can do it fine with NEMA 17s. You are correct, but this is my design, and I want to use NEMA 23s. So,
much more eloquently put, you're just excited about.
I'm excited
being able to
have my own. Literally, this thing.
Being able to design it and make it your own.
Right, and my goal is that this thing's going to compete with the likes of the Vorons and the Rat Rigs and stuff like that in speed and quality. So. There are some naysayers out there, and that's typical for the internet. There's always naysayers, and to them I say, well, thank you for your opinion, but we will see how this goes. So, and maybe you're right. Maybe it is going to be a total flop, but we won't know until it's done. So,
all right, hang on. We've got Attila who says, pull back over to you. So
right, I'm going to close this so my
Attila says, of course you recognize your Rubik's Cube. He's Hungarian, just like
Erno just like Erno Rubik, yeah.
Yeah. Man, I just don't even.
Felicio?
Felicoid? I'm so sorry. With your tutorial, I was able to install Klipper successfully. I still need to do the calibration part. I returned it to the factory, but then I continue again.
Okay, well, get on that calibration. But yeah, thank you. I'm glad I was able to help you at least get it installed. And I'll be doing some more refining of my configs and stuff like that, and updating those as we go along this process. So,
Flissois? I don't know. I'm bad at this. I'm really bad at this. Why do you put me in charge of this? Brad says, watching my Klipper cam while watching this, I appreciate that Klipper brings in terms of remote access.
Yes, it is pretty spectacular.
Zombie Navy says, it's sad that out the box the K1 is horrible. After replacing the hot end, adding another cooling fan and an E-clip to compensate for unlevel bed, the quality is almost equal to my X1C.
There you go. Yeah, the beds on them are not trimmed well at all, and you really can't. Like, it is not easy the way they got it built and set up. Yeah, the grub screws that hold the pulleys on to the stepper motors, or for the screws, they've Loctite them in place, and I broke a bit of Torx bit trying to get one of those grub screws loose. So yeah, not ideal. I think they could have done a better job with that. That was my phone. I don't know why my volume's on. Sorry, everyone. I'm like a bad person at the theater.
Drew says, will the NEMA 23s give you higher resolution, more power?
More holding torque. Especially at 48 volts. And they're going to be 0.9 motors as opposed to 1.8 degree. So yeah, higher resolution.
Attila says, I think the 3-point leveling is a great idea. Actually, you only need 3 points to make leveling, not more. Everything else depending on the surface, how even it is.
Right. So yeah, 3-point leveling with adaptive meshing is really, really good. I did it on my friend's printer. It was a Tron XY or Tron C. We completely converted his over to 3-point leveling or 3-point tramming and adaptive meshing, and it gets perfect layers, perfect first layers, no matter where on the build plate, every time without fail. So.
And St. Drew says, well, when George the 3D printer needs beta testers, make the Horde aware.
I will.
And says that we bringing back some old conversations from like summertime. He says, well, we have another Honda Civic in regards to Zombie Navy's comment about Creality K1. It's been a minute since we've talked about the Honda Civics.
Right. Well, it has. Oh my goodness.
We had a conversation the other day. I think it was, I think it might have been Ray who suggested that we do a naming competition.
Yeah.
We're kind of considering that. We're gonna get everything built, everything put together, build one in process just to make sure that everything works. And then if it's something that has interest, then we'll look at maybe putting a naming contest out there.
Yeah. And I don't know what the prize is going to be. And the big thing about building at one time into cost, it's going to be rather costly. So, I want to be able to do it so it is competitive with the high-speed premium machines like the Vorons and the rat rigs. So, and that's another thing. So some of the stuff is going to be difficult, like the CNC parts. That's going to be a little bit extra cost because that's going to have to be done through either if you have a CNC router machine, awesome. If not, you're going to have to do that through a third party, like PCBWay or many others out there. So, and depending on the cost of that, I might actually put together kits that I could sell. If you want to build it, I'll have the CNC parts kits, possibly. So, other things, the build plate, the Mic 6 build plate will have to be custom done, but I found a supplier for the material. I just have to finish it myself. And then the heater itself is going to have to be a custom done one, but I found a supplier for that, and they could do a custom heater for the same cost as a typical what they sell. So there's no extra cost. It's just they have to make it, and it's about a 6-week turnaround. So.
Andy says Matter 3D. That's a good one.
Matter 3D.
Antimatter 3D.
Antimatter
would be fun
3D.
Too.
Oh.
Drew says, actually, I put a 0.6N Revo high flow on my Honda Civic.
Nice.
CR10 Pro V2. And it's been fantastic.
Nice. Yeah, on bigger machines, a lot of people really like the bigger nozzles, which makes sense. You could make big stuff faster.
Andy says, or perhaps Matt ER in caps 3D.
There we go.
I like it.
That could work.
Very clever.
Right. All right. Should we actually do this input shaper thing?
I guess.
Is that what we promised the people 40 minutes ago?
I didn't promise the people anything other than mayhem.
Of mayhem and chaos. Okay, so we saw this. This is a before test. This is before the input shaper calibration. And so what I'm going to do is show you what to add in the printer config.
Whoops, sorry guys.
Show you how to do the calibration, and then I'm going to run the same exact G code over, and we'll compare the two and see what the difference is and if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, I've been playing with it with input shaping earlier, and it's pretty darn good. So, but we're here to show the people. So first things first, we need to get into our printer configuration and add some stuff. So we did do something did happen to our internet now, didn't it?
That's what I said.
Yeah. All right.
Check in on little lady, make sure she's still got internet.
Okay. We'll go over to machine here and do printer.cfg. So you could put this anywhere in here, but I'm going to put it after printer settings, and I have it on, where did it go? I didn't mean to close that. Hopefully it's still there. It should be. Yep. All right. Right here. So we need to, one, define the input shaper, saying that it's a thing. Tell it what the MCU is, so what is actually controlling, or what is going to be connecting to the accelerometer, and then the pinout of the accelerometer, and then the type of tester, ADXL 345, and then where it's going to point, like where the machine's going to orient when it probes. It's pretty simple stuff as far as like it's not that much code. So we're going to take this, copy it, Control C, and do we do it after motion axes or before? And we'll do it before. All right. And literally that's it. Save and restart.
Drew says there's a filament company up in Canada called Matter 3D, and Andy's like, Drew, why would you say that now?
Oh, man.
No idea.
Copyrights. All right, so now this.
And Andy says, Drew, it doesn't matter. They matter.
Wow. Yikes.
Baron says somebody's been working on things in the pad.
I have.
All right.
So this is the accelerometer that comes with your PAD-7. And because this is a Cartesian machine, we have to do the X and the Y axis separately, but there's options in here for it. So first let's connect it to the pad, and there is an SPI connection in the back here. Ooh. Boom. And we're going to start with...
It in so close, we can't see anything without the view now.
Well, this is easy to see from the main view. It's not difficult here. All right, and then I'm going to take one of these screws out, and we are going to... Hey, it's lit up. Perfect. And you shouldn't have to mess with the orientation because X is still in the X orientation in this, with it set up like this, so easy peasy. And it's a little fiddly getting the screw to line up, but it goes. It goes, come on. Oh, there we go. Nope, that wasn't it. And this should work similar if you have the stock fan. You should be able to get this in there, hopefully. Other than that, find a way to tape it on there, stick it on there. The testing, the tuning, or the calibration isn't that violent of a movement, and so it as secure as you can get it, but it doesn't have to be as secure as you think you need it, if that makes any sense.
So having heard the expensive sounding ting, 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 ting of something flying off your printer, quick public service announcement here. If you have pets or kids, that Z-wobble thing you got going on may be a tricky business.
The Wobble X, yeah.
Wobble X, that's it.
Yeah, it homed, and I had a spool of filament sitting over here, and the motor hit it, and so everything fell, and the bearings went everywhere. So I had to go fishing for bearings. So
literally, he had a magnet attached to a string behind his desk.
Yeah, because it fell back here, and yeah. So fair warning: if you move your machine a lot, probably not the best thing to have. If you have it in a home and it doesn't move, and there's nothing that can get to it, it's perfectly fine. All right, so there we go. We have it in the X, or have it on our tool head here in the X orientation, and when this moves, make sure this isn't going to get caught on anything because the machine will home.
And Drew says sticky tack works great.
Sticky tack, yeah. So we go to configuration, and you should have an input shaper option now that you've added it to the printer config.
And Andy says, I use the V2 version and put it where the nozzle goes. They unfortunately supply a screw only for the V6 block, so I had to figure it out.
Oh no. That's unfortunate, right? All right, so it'll detect the accelerometer, and then you get auto calibrate, and then we're gonna measure X. And make sure it's on a stable surface, or preferably the surface you're going to be using the printer on, and then don't touch anything while it goes. Because
you know how bad I want to come over there and touch that now.
I know, right?
Ooh, there we go. Yeah, look at that.
Now you can see it do its thing.
That's pretty. It's scared.
And it's gonna, yeah, it's shaking. Help me. He's got a wrench and a pair of pliers.
I finally got put back together. Not again.
Right. And you'll hear it buzz and vibrate. It's going to go through and test from...
Sounds like it's about to take off.
15 hertz on up to like 150 or something like that. So...
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that it is not happy about that.
We might move away from that. There's a weird thing about your refresh rate, and it almost looks like it's waving back and forth.
Yeah, so there's going to be a little bit of, I forget what they call it, rolling shutter. With
we'll move it back to you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tilla says it's cold over there. And Ray says shaking because it's thinking about Drew's weather.
Negative 52. Brr.
It's a balmy 68 in our house. Well, actually, I think it's 71 up here.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a balmy 71 in here.
Balmy 71, right? And hopefully you don't have any screws loose because it will rattle some screws apart.
Huh.
Right?
So you always got a screw loose.
I live my life with a screw loose. I don't know what it is that's making that shaking sound.
Your bearings, maybe?
No,
I'm about to go flying out.
Right.
Should I take cover?
no, it might be the cooling fan or the probe, or there's a couple loose bits in these Titan extruders. So there we go. Re-enabled input shaper. So it's going to say some stuff at the bottom, and it's going to give you different types of compensation, whatever, and then what it recommends for your maximum acceleration with that type. And there's a way to access, there's a chart that it will make, a graph that it will make, and there's a way to get in there. It makes a PNG image of that, and I've not figured out how to find it on the PAD-7 just yet. I have to dig in there more and more to find it, but it gives you some information. All right, save configuration, Klipper will reboot, continue.
Drew says, that shaking noise? You'll find out.
Right. All right, that's X. Now time to do Y. Why?
Yeah, that was a good question. Why?
Why?
Your printer wants to know why.
Why? Why would you do that to me? I'm an artillery printer. I'm not made for that kind of abuse. I kid.
I feel like that might be more the Bamboo Labs that would say that.
Right. Oh, let's see if I can get this on there. Relatively level, huh? Good enough. Good enough. All right. For the Y, it's as easy as a little bit of masking tape or sticky tack or Kapton or whatever tape you like.
Loctite.
Loctite, super glue, you know. Boom.
Drew wants to know, does that automatically save your input shaping data?
Yes, it'll tell you to reboot the PAD-7 or reboot the firmware, and then it saves it as if just like hitting save and restart or whatever on the thing. So when you do this, you don't want to have it crooked. You actually want to. Let's see if we could show them. Can they see that? There's a little orientation thing of where X, Y, and Z goes on, like how this sees it.
Not when you're shaking it like that.
Sorry. So you want that to be, parallel with whatever axis, right? So.
See, and Andy says, do you alter the accelerations to the ones it recommends after the tests?
No, I just leave them. It recommends it and it automatically picks what it feels is the best. And in my experience with it so far, what it recommends and does on its own has been the best. It works fine, and I've not considered needing to change it. All right, so we'll get that on there pretty straight. Hunk of tape here. If I could do this.
The adult nerd version of the game Doctor, or whatever that was.
Operation.
Operation, that's it.
That was a great game. All right, and tape that down good. One more over the wire. All right. And just make sure that's held down nice and snug as a bug. Go back here, configuration, input shaper. It's already picked for X 46 Hertz at MZV, whatever MZV is. Because you could go through and pick different types of compensations. So auto calibrate, measure Y.
Ooh, Drew says your next round of magnetic bed should have a horizontal line for it to line up to.
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool. Just wherever you tape it, don't tape it where the machine's going to home. Typically, you know, in front is best. Oh yeah, I can tell that the bed on this is significantly heavier than the tool head because it's shaking the floor.
It doesn't take much,
No,
unfortunately. Attila says this part is only for bed slingers, right?
Doing them individually is only for bed slingers. If you have a Core XY machine or a machine that can move both X and Y, where the tool head can be moved in both X and Y, it's like a flying gantry style or something like that. Is it the Ender 5? It's still a Cartesian, but it moves the print head around instead of the build plate. You could do both, and it will just do one and then the next.
Man, do that too many times, and they're gonna start calling in saying that the mountain's about to explode or something with all that shaking.
She's got to step out and help the kid wash her hands. Whee. So certain things that will cause you to need to recalibrate, because once you calibrate it should be set. But if you change your belt tension, you will need to recalibrate. Change your parts on your print head, because that changes the weight of it, so it will change the resonant frequency. Stuff like that can affect it. So a recalibration may be required if you change those things. Also, with this, having the spool mounted on top, as that spool empties, the whole everything's going to get lighter, and so the resonant frequency will slowly change as you use up filament on the spool. I've not run into an issue where as the spool runs out or as you use filament, I've not seen a difference in quality, but I've also not printed anything big enough to use an entire spool in one print on this machine so if you commonly use large amounts of filament for your prints, I recommend having the spool mounted remotely so the weight of it doesn't affect it.
So Attila says, yes, E5, it's not Core XY, it's Cartesian.
It's Cartesian.
Just box framed.
Yep. So, cool idea.
And I don't know, I'm yeah, says, can I find those calibrations for the Klipper screen on my Raspberry Pi? I have an ADXL 345 3-axis SPI L2 is the accelerometer module. It serves?
It serves? I don't know what it serves means. But so if you have a Raspberry Pi, you will need to hook that up to, there's some GPIO pins you'll need to hook it up to. And on I think it's on the Klipper website, it actually goes through how to hook up a normal 345 to the Pi and what pins go to what GPIO. And then when you have in closed brackets input shaper in your printer config, it automatically will make the option show up under configuration in your Klipper screen. It just comes up. It's a thing.
Marcella answered, says, yes, when you configured it in your configs. And Baron says, shaking's not that bad. Did mine at 1 or 2 a.m. without waking up my dad. It's not that bad.
No, we're just joshing. All right, so we'll go back to here. It's done. It's restarted. Go back to input shaper, and it put us some values in. So we have 46 hertz MZV for the X and 25 hertz MZV for the Y. So typically, the higher the frequency, the less weight it's trying to move around, the lighter the moving parts are. And the lower the frequency, the heavier they are. So 25.6 that means that this build plate is really heavy. And that, obviously there's a big hunk of glass on there, plus the magnet, plus a steel sheet. So yeah. So hopefully this is kind of worst case scenario almost for the situation we have. It's a lot of heavy components it's trying to sling around at pretty high speeds. I'll show you my slicer settings here in a minute. Yeah, that's it. It's done. So we will remove this. Yarr. Yar.
Okay. Apparently you have to be a pirate to do this
You have to be a pirate. You have to be a pirate. Come on. We were listening to, was that All the Colors from, what was it, Bobby Bass?
Is it All the Colors or is it Hoist the Colors?
Hoist the Colors, yeah. Yo ho. It's from Pirates of the Caribbean, but man,
It was
the Bobby
great
Bass
when Zoe
version.
starts singing it, when the 4-year-old daughter starts singing that one.
Right. All right.
Marcel
made it, no
says,
way.
or you buy a Pi Pico and configure a second MCU with Klipper for your input shaper.
Yes.
And then you have a USB input shaper type.
Yep. So there's several ways to actually configure it in the printer config. The way I showed is it's specifically for this, the Big Tree Tech accelerometer that comes with the PAD-7 in its situation. So when I did it on a friend's Ender 3 with the Big Tree Tech Pi, the definition in the way it was defined was a little different in the printer config. So every different configuration will have different options, but typically, you know, with Raspberry Pi, you'll see it on the Klipper page, and all these different options will have some sort of a GitHub or website that will tell you these things. Plus, there's a huge community of people that know this stuff where you can get that information from. So it's not, with a little bit of research, it's not hard to figure out what you need to do.
That's a really interesting point. So Attila says, I think it's very important for Australians to use inverse values based on the scientific vortex theory.
The Coriolis effect, messing with their printers. There was one, if you watch Teaching Tech, he did one, like just questions he had that didn't have answers, and one of them was a silly one where when his nozzle purges, it makes a curl, right? It starts to curl. He was saying that every time it goes the same direction, I wonder if in the Northern Hemisphere, because he's from Australia, if it goes the other direction, you know, just being silly. And I thought that was clever of him. A clever
Did we
video.
get an answer?
I haven't looked in the comments yet. I've seen it go both ways, so I think it's just, yeah. All right, get my nasty fingerprints and tape residue off of there. And then we're gonna run that.
We have a whole part there you didn't clean off.
It's drying.
Okay.
Better.
Yes, thank you.
So we will quickly show you my settings here. All right, I have my X2. So things, if you do this and you use Orca Slicer, I recommend using the stock artillery printer configuration because one, you get the cool logo. I like their little logo thing. And then there's certain like offsets and stuff like that that are kind of pre-done. But what you will need to do is go in here and change G-code flavor to Klipper. G-code thumbnails, it has 300 by 300. You will need to add 92 by 92, comma. Otherwise, your small thumbnails won't work on Klipper screen.
Awesome.
Yes.
We have Emilio who says, hi from Argentina.
Hi.
Which is the mod for fan? Or which is the mod? Yeah.
Fan mod?
Yeah.
That is on my website. Write that down. I'll link it. It is my design. I designed that.
Hang on. I need another. I need
And
more
I
paper.
don't know if, I don't think this one works with the stock probe. I have a different one on there that works with the stock probe. You know, that card.
Need more paper?
This one I have set up specifically for the, you're getting like, oh, is it 4 o'clock?
It's 4 o'clock.
It's time to go pick up our kid, right? Oh, we're going to continue on. I have, this one fits specifically because I have a different bracket for doing a BL Touch or CR Touch. The BL Touch or CR Touch, either one of them will fit on this bracket. The CR Touch I think is like a 0.5 millimeter longer or something like that.
Baron says he thinks it's on the website. I went ahead and wrote it down anyway, so it will eventually be in the
It should be on the website.
Yep.
In the description, link in description. Yep. So, and I got to finish last week's links. I got so busy. So, I know. Let me do that tonight when we're done. Can I do that tonight when we're done?
No,
We don't have anything to do tonight.
it's my time. I'm not going to finish that because we don't want to get copyright for the Goonies too, but.
Wow. Okay.
Drew says he laughed at that one too. Teaching Tech has great content.
Its content's really good. Yeah.
And Ira's off to sleep. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
joining
Ira.
us. We really appreciate it. And Emilio, thank you for coming in to join us from
Heck yeah.
Argentina. We appreciate that.
For sure. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining. We love to have you here. Where was I? Right. So in your printer settings, you will not get the accelerations and the speeds you're expecting until you go into your motion ability, and you'll have acceleration limitations, and right here, maximum acceleration for extruding. This will be set to 500. You can change all these all you want, but what this means, and it's a little confusing, but is if the extruder is actually extruding plastic, this is the acceleration speed limit that it is set.
So it's usually set to 500?
Stock, it's set to 500 in the stock profile, right? And so I've seen that online where people are like, oh, I put Klipper on, I set all my accelerations to 2,000, 3,000, but Klipper screen still says it's only accelerating at 500 and my printer's still slow. You have to come in here to maximum acceleration for extruding and change that to whatever your maximum acceleration is going to be. I'm not sure why they have that here as an option. I don't think it should be here, but the people at Orca Slicer, they know what they're doing, so I'm sure there's a reason. So, but it's a little bit confusing the way it's written. So I first chalked it off as like, oh, that's fine, whatever. I don't know what that is. I just know I want X, Y, and Z acceleration to be higher values. Well, mainly X and Y. And then I was stuck. I was like, why am I only accelerating at 500? This is weird. And then I found it on I think on Reddit, someone had mentioned this. So, excuse me. That is that. And then save it. And I recommend giving it a new name or whatever. And then for filament, you will want to go in here under cooling and change your layer time. It has it as 8 seconds, and that's going to slow you down big time.
Drew's got to run for supper. I'll catch the rest later.
Time. All right, Drew. See you later. Thank you again for stopping by. Appreciate having you on. Yeah, but yeah, for under your cooling tab, under your filament setting, change that to 1 second, half a second, something like that. This is going to be more of a limit of your cooling. Obviously, that's why they have that there. So if you want to spend some time running some tests, different layer times to figure out what your fastest print speed versus cooling is, maybe I'll start looking into how to do that and do a stream on that sometime. And then that's how you're able to get your speeds ramped up a bit. And then obviously in your actual process, under speed, you've got to go through and change your speed. So these are the speeds that I have running on this, in this G code. Outer wall 150, inner wall 200. Those are the two that matter the most. But infill 200, internal solid infill, I don't know what that's, I just have that maxed out because it's internal. Top surface 150, I like nice surfaces, and then gap infill 200, that's fine. Support, that should be up higher. I don't know why that's so low. We're going to put that to 200.
From earlier, Brad says, classic, you missed a spot.
I missed a spot, yep. So I'm still tuning this. I've been only working on this profile and the input shaping and speed on this for a couple of weeks. So keep your overhang stuff. That Orca Slicer does a really good job with overhangs as far as figuring out how fast to do them. So just keep those. And then travel speed I have at 500. And then acceleration, normal printing 5K, outer wall 1500, inner wall 2000, and so on and so forth. So this is significantly faster than stock profiles. Typically stock profiles are like between 500 and 800 millimeters per second squared for acceleration, and at max 60, 80 millimeters a second for speed if you want quality. So this is significantly faster. But I have this G code in here. So we're going to run it. Actually, you know what? Let's just, since we're here, let's just reslice and send it. Send it. And it says 9 minutes and 54 seconds for this little cube. And if you've done this cube before, you know it's probably like 25 minutes with a stock profile. So much faster. Print. Upload and print. Go here. Yep. And it brought it up. Now we wait for it to heat up and run, and we will watch it go and see if we get it better than this cube here. So while we wait, any questions?
Drew's the one who's going to eat.
He's going to eat. I think next week we're going to cover pressure advance and how to tune that. Right? Good idea. Drew had mentioned doing some streams on actually tuning filament profiles, and I've developed a knack for that because I know.
Okay, Drew gets the credit. Okay.
Well, you mentioned it before too.
Right, that's what I mean. Drew gets the credit.
Whatever.
Sure.
Credit to the viewers, all right? Wow, I could even see ringing on the top surface. You know it's bad when you see ringing on the top surface. Whoa.
Drew, when you come back to watch this, could you also tell him to do his chores? Because apparently if you tell him, he'll do it.
Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, so filament tuning, pressure advance. What other stuff was I thinking? I'd mentioned that doing some other streams. Maybe slicer settings.
Until wants to know is pressure advance for corners?
Yes. So for this, I set it for PLA. Don't know why that just died. For PLA, I think I have it at 0.04. And it can be dialed in a little bit. So between 0.02 and 0.04 is pretty good for PLA on this extruder setup.
I think you wanted to go over some more Klipper stuff. I think you wanted to Klipperize the X1.
Yep, I want to Klipperize the X1. I want to get the tool head back on it. It's got a big TreeTech SKR 1.4 turbo in it, so that'll be fun. I've never Klipperized a machine with that specific setup, so that'd be more of like a kind of do it from scratch because there's really no. I'm sure there's been people to do it on that, but I don't know. I'm not going to look for a resource. I'm going to do it from scratch. As best as I can.
Integrity says, curious what the results of the test would be without the spool at the top of the printer. I've always wondered if having the spool on the top provides a dampening effect.
I wouldn't say it provides a damping effect. It'll actually start to, once you hit that resonant frequency, it'll start to wobble. Remember on the X1 before I did the little brackets, how bad it would wobble? We noticed that years ago. And the whole, with the spool on top, I mean the whole gantry, the whole thing's waving back, and it was bad. And you could see it in the print. You could see waviness in the prints from that. But I did the aluminum brackets for it, and it was fine after that. On here, I just have 3D printed brackets, and it's good enough.
That being said, you still never put the spool back on top.
I didn't. You're right.
So it's a solid question. I mean, I wonder if it does make much of a difference.
Well, maybe we'll try that. Switching around, put one of those on it, huh? So.
You gotta do it in blue, though. That blue actually.
That blue looks good.
That blue looks a lot like the blue that's on the top there, so at least make it match.
Yeah, which one was that? Is that the Hatchbox, the silk blue or whatever?
It says Hatchbox.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's like the same color as the blue plastic that goes across the top. Yeah, they look very similar.
Oh, here we go. And 220C on the nozzle, 60C on the bed. And I've got, oh, that's another one, adaptive meshing. That's another one I want to show how to set up. It's going to do it, and it's super cool. So for people who like to run a bed mesh calibration before every print, it takes a long time to do all of it. So what the adaptive meshing does is it only does it where the print is at. So you get, when it's quicker, and you just get a higher resolution mesh where your print is at. So it's a win-win. Unless you're constantly doing full bed size prints, but most people aren't doing full bed size prints every time. Unless it's the print farm and they're just cranking things out. But I don't imagine there's a lot of these machines in print farms. I don't think they're reliable enough out of the box. So. Any word from the peanut gallery over there?
About what?
Are the people just waiting?
You didn't ask any questions.
Oh.
You didn't ask a question to get word from Peanut Gallery.
Okay, I don't have any questions right now. Other than, who's your favorite 3D printing YouTuber?
Wow. You don't have to answer that.
That's a loaded question. It's a bait.
Is your ego good enough to accept all the answers that are not you?
I'm pretty sure my ego is fine. You could all say things like teaching tech and 3D print nerd and.
As long as at the end you say, just kidding, it's EP3D. It's moving.
Okay. Except for my channel, what is your favorite 3D printing channel? Better? Yeah, see? It's only gonna mesh where that cube is going to be, so it creates a super high resolution mesh of that spot. And actually when it's done, I'll bring it up.
Wonder how much that little bit of filament sticking out the bottom is going to cause problems.
Oh, it should purge out.
Yeah, it did on the plate.
Yeah, look at that. That's when you just,
Yoink.
without destroying your ribbon cable. A little bit of ooze. It happens.
Marcel says, idea for the next PCB integrated jumper for the cooling fan power, 5, 12, 24 volt.
That'd be kind of fun, do a little voltage regulator on there. All right, first layer's going down. I'll bring up the height map here. Okay, bring this over, check it out.
Oh, hang on.
I know. We're there? All right, so instead of it being the whole thing, it's just the middle. And we zoom in and you see this nice super high resolution mesh of that little tiny area instead of the probe points being way out here. So
Why does it look super, super curved?
because this build plate is not flat.
Apparently it's very much not flat.
All right, she's going.
Until it says that adaptive mesh makes sense big time.
It's super cool, yeah. If you consistently have first layer problems, it can be a good solution. For my friend's Tron XY, we had to go that route because, yeah, it does a 3-point leveling, but it's not the exact same spot every time. There's about I don't know, like a 1/10 of a millimeter variance or so. And that could be enough to cause issues. So it'll do its little 3-point probing and then it will do an adaptive mesh. And it really doesn't take that much extra time in it. It's worth it for having prints that don't fall off. So, yeah, yeah, much faster than stock. It has a slow point. There's a little overhang area for or a little spot for them where the X and Y where the letters are. Any surface infill that's over the
Baron says,
infill.
where's the jealous emoji? I've got a 0.2 variance and it looks like a mountain range.
Right.
Sorry to cut you mid-sentence. I just thought that was funny.
Right. I mean, on this bed here, I think it's like, I have like almost 0.5 millimeter variance across the whole thing, which is a lot. Yeah. And if you all want to hang out for the after show, I could do a benchy in 30 minutes. I sliced one up to see. Too much? She's giving me the no. Actually, you had said something about doing a benchy on the stream today.
She had said something about doing a benchy on the screen.
She wants a blue boat. She wants a blue boat.
I don't know if she's going to be chill enough for you to do a 30-minute benchy for the after party.
Maybe. We will we will take it as we go, huh? Run it by, take it by ear.
Baron says, thoughts on changing from a 5x5 or 5x5 to a 7x7 for probing mesh?
The more probing points you have, the more higher resolution your mesh is, so it's more accurate. It depends on how much time you want it to take. So there was an individual, I forget his name, I've been helping him. He's got a 400 millimeter Tron XY and he was having issues with this first layer and he had to change his mesh points to 9 to get it to start working good.
See, Baron, it's not just you. We forget everybody's names.
Yep. I'm not sure if he's watching today or not.
Baron? He's the one who just asked you the question.
No, I know Baron, the guy that I helped with this Tron XY.
I was like, I know we're not that bad at names. Come on.
So, another one is setting up your home nozzle and probe offsets in Klipper and how it sees all that. Because if you do a Klipper install and you don't have any reference for whatever your configuration is as far as where everything is in space, you gotta do some math and figure out your offsets. And it's a little bit confusing at first, but I could run through and show everyone that and help eliminate that confusion. What?
I realized that I had all the trouble with pronouncing that name. So I wrote down that it's Damien.
Damien.
And I'm over here trying to like figure it out, and it's written down, and I'm just, oh my goodness, I need a vacation.
Hey everybody, if I can't pronounce your name, help me figure out how to pronounce it so I'll write it down
So I
and
can
forget that I
completely
write
ignore
it
it.
down.
For real. Marcel says, I'll do a 10 by 10 once a month. No problem with first layer.
There you go. Having a stable system too, helps. So your V-roller is being adjusted correctly or on linear rails, having your springs for your tram actually done right with enough tension, stuff like that. I went to silicone on these and I've trammed it really one time and I've never had it come on. Like it's been fine for months. So.
Missed it earlier. Baron also said, just change the probing speed, right? If it takes too long?
To a point, you don't want to go too fast because the faster you go, you could introduce some error. So figure out what the fastest you can go for your probing. And every probe has a speed limit. So whether it be inductive or the BL touch type or clicky or a touch probe and all that kind of stuff. So how's this looking?
I think we have somebody new to our chat. Orlando says, what jerk or junction deviation values are you using?
I have a square corner velocity of 5 millimeters per second. That's how Klipper does it. There's no jerk/junction deviation. They call it square corner velocity. And I just leave it at 5. And it does just fine. You can go up faster if you want. It just depends on the limit of your machine. So it's not, Klipper does a way better job at managing that aspect of acceleration than Marlin. With Marlin, you could spend a long time tuning your junction deviation with getting very limited results. So, yeah, Klipper is just smarter with it.
Baron asks, aren't there 2 speeds on for movement between points and the actual probing movement?
Yes. So the actual movement where the probe comes down, you want to be relatively slow, but going between the points, yeah, you could have it as fast as your machine can go, boogie away.
Boogie away.
Boogie away. Because, man, out of the box, they set them up so slow, it's like, okay. Okay.
You know what? When you
20 minutes later.
when you got the one behind you out of the box, way back in the day, it was your very first printer.
It didn't even have auto probing.
You weren't complaining about how slow it was.
No, it was awesome, but it was 2019. That printer was like the cat's pajamas back then. The cat's meow. Come on, you don't remember that? Oh, what was that? It might have been Newgrounds or way before YouTube, right?
I'm just saying, you're being so weird today.
There was a skit.
I support it, but
I love the 20s. It was making fun of SNL or something like that. Yeah.
Over there being a pirate and just cat's pajamas and just.
What was it? I met this dame. See, she was the cat's meow, but I told her to scram because she gave me the heebie-jeebies. It was this silly video on the internet before when
says.
when internet videos were better.
I miss the Candy Mountain video.
Candy Mountain.
The Candy Mountain internet video days.
What was it? Stick Death was super popular. We used to watch that in high school in the library before they had the Sense to Block websites. So, what was another? Joe Cartoon was super popular. Obviously, Newgrounds. There's a few others. All pre-YouTube. If you wanted shock content, it was Live Leak. Although I think Live Leak still exists. Nowadays, you just got options for days. It's looking pretty good.
Options aren't always the best thing.
Right.
I'm curious how some of the AI stuff coming up is going to change the 3D printing world.
Well, yeah. That's going to be interesting. Like AI generative design for like industrial manufacturing and stuff like that could be fun.
I don't know, just it's getting so involved with so many different things. Like just the way, I mean, you can use, people are now able to use like Chat GPT to make art.
Yeah.
You can use it to make you a picture. And I just wonder, as that evolves, I know somebody's going to come up with some super clever thing to make it integrate with 3D printing in just a really cool way.
Yep. Clever people out there.
Ray says, remember the G.I. Joe edits?
Oh, those were so funny. Who wants a body massage? Or is the fire one? Pork chop sandwiches. Those are great. Those were so funny. My goodness, you're really bringing back memories. And she's over here looking at me like, what are you talking about?
We spent our time on different sides of the internet when we were young. I was more like the Candy Mountain.
Did you have the internet
Magical
back
Trevor.
then? Did the internet exist for you guys, or had it been imported into your...
Excuse me, sir. You are older than I am. You cool it over there.
She grew up in a place in a rural environment.
Okay, no, we didn't have internet, but it's not because of how old I am. Don't be mean.
Because you're backwoods redneck town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marcel says, I do 3 probes on each point and go with
better.
the average. Takes days, but the results are perfect.
There you go. Okay, so.
Ray says, I was just about to post about pork chop sandwiches. And Attila says, want to print Baby Yoda with 2 heads?
There you go.
Sign
Oh,
up,
that
Ray.
is a significant difference.
Okay, I get it now. So he says, want to print Baby Yoda with 2 heads? Sign up for AI 3D printing.
There you go. All right, are we in focus over here?
Uh-huh.
All right, can you see the before on the left?
If you pull one out from behind the other one, give it a little bit of space.
Like
So we're not seeing the shadow. But you gotta face the faces the same direction.
like that?
No, now we're just getting super glare. No, pull it out of its shadow. Pull it apart. Apart. There we go. No, too far. Right there.
Right there? Mm-hmm. And you can see how terrible that one looks?
Yeah.
Okay, that's before, this is after. Basically the same G code. So that is much, much better. Pretty smooth walls. There's a little bit of ghosting, but it's nothing like that. It is significantly better. So I consider that a win. Obviously, as you do this stuff, little things will have to be tuned. I've not done any other tuning in this filament, like flow or any of that, but it looks pretty good. So yeah, that is the result. So input shaping. Ding.
You want to help Daddy print a boat?
You want to do a boat? Let's. Time for the after show. It's boat time.
The owner of the channel has spoken. She would like to do a boat.
She wants to do a boat.
You want to help, Dad?
Let's do a speed boat.
Can't tell if that was a nope or a yep.
Yep. Okay. Nice and clean. Let's see how she does a boat.
Hopefully YouTube doesn't pick up the music and think that we're trying to copyright music over here.
No. Careful. All right. I have.
Oh, here, hang on. Let's go back to you.
Right.
Go ahead, Ben. Go for it.
Save that.
Mom?
Okay.
Dada,
Yes.
can I help you make a boat?
Yeah, you can help me make a boat. All right. We're going to go here. I actually have a benchy profile because we're going to do it according to the rules. 0.25 layers, 0.25 millimeter layers. Yes.
Sweetheart.
10% infill, 2 walls, 2 shells, and then 3 floors, 3 ceilings. That's the rules. That's how that works.
Paper here.
Is it? Uh-oh.
Babe, come help Daddy. He's showing people how he's making a boat. Come show how you can make a boat.
Right. Slice plate. Let's see how fast it says. I think it's like 30 minutes is what.
Let's see.
30 minutes, 5 seconds.
Attila says, oh, nope, sorry, that was an old one. Ray says, you want to see, have you seen the benchy where they scale the Z-axis really high, like a long, tall benchy?
Yeah, and they print it on its rear, on the, yeah.
Daddy,
Yeah.
Baron says,
this part
Yo, yeah, it is crooked, huh?
By the
Oh,
way,
there's
if
a
you ever
spool
need
that
to know
hangs.
exactly what's wrong with all of your printers, a 4-year-old, perfect.
She will tell you.
Baron says battleship benchy, torpedo boat benchy for an A10 benchy or an A10 benchy.
That's cool.
Jugger says I've never printed a benchy.
Daddy, were you been looking for this?
Oh, that's my camera cleaning thing. The case for it.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to press the button to print it?
Yeah.
Okay, come here.
Yeah.
All right. See how it says the little picture of the boat there? And you see the picture where it shows the little zigzag lines?
Yeah.
Press the zigzag lines.
This?
Yep. Boom. No, not delete file. Try it again. Try it again. Yep. See the boat? Hit the green button. Print.
Klipper, so easy a 4-year-old can do it.
Right? All right. Here we go. Gonna give it a couple minutes to heat up and then she's gonna fly.
What?
Huh?
Who's gonna fly?
He's gonna fly. The boat's gonna fly. So, side note, I picked this material. One, it looks really cool too. The shinier the material, the easier it is to see artifacts or inconsistencies or ghosting on your prints. For like matte colored soft materials, it's much harder to see it. So basically I'm doing this test to show it in its worst light. So if you're printing a lot of shiny materials, yeah, you'll see any sort of inconsistencies. But if you print normal colors and matte colored PLAs, you will never see any sort of inconsistencies. So
Baron says back to
if it's
Jugger.
tuned right.
Baron says back to Jugger. Heretic! Get the gun, Satan! Attila says, I did once or twice. I also don't measure speed like that. Your printer's making some weird sounds. Ray says she's so adorable.
Thank you, Ray. Sounds like it's gonna take off.
He's talking about you, by the way.
Yeah, you're famous. You're famous, kiddo. You know that? You're famous.
Yeah.
You're internet famous.
You're on the internet right now.
You're on the internet.
Yeah, I'm gonna check if everything's cooking or not.
Ooh, yeah. That one, let's leave that one alone. You're fine on that one. Let's leave the big one alone. It's got screws and stuff everywhere. That's a project.
It's been a project.
Yeah.
Has it ever not been a project?
I know. I want to put, so I have a, yes?
You gotta fix it someday.
I do need to fix it someday. Should we take it off?
Yeah.
There you go.
And we'll get.
Don't club anybody with it.
Attila says, to me, anything less than 1.2 millimeter wall, not sure.
I think
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're making.
another one of these Tim, so we can print one of these.
So if any of you are wondering why
Maybe.
this live stream is a little bit more hectic than usual, this is why. This is what it's been like today.
Yep. She has been bouncing. That's okay, though.
I make 2 boats.
You make 2 boats? Oh,
You
what other
want
boat?
2?
What other boat do you want?
I want a boat that's purple.
You know how many purple boats I've made you that you've lost?
Do you know how many purple boats you've made yourself that you've lost? Sassy pants.
Yeah, a
There
lot.
might be a purple boat up there. No, there's not. She lost it.
You lost it.
I've always lost it.
I actually wanted to make a new one, so I can press another one.
Yeah.
THRL says hello.
THRL, thank you. Hello to you. Welcome to the show.
This is the after party.
This is the after show. Welcome to the after show. We don't get to do after shows very often, so this is fun.
Similar to a blooper reel, just
Kind
live.
of. Yeah. So it's one of those things we did. I knew it wasn't going to take a full hour.
It's 4:30.
Well, the actual tuning part, setting it up, it was like 5 minutes. It's not hard. You found a cube. Go, Benchy, go. Oh yeah, she's off the walls. On a side note,
Hey, Dad, here's a door.
thank you. The first 3D printed part of the Core XY machine I'm designing. This is eSun ABS Plus Gray, printed on a bamboo lab.
Dad, here you go, Dada.
Thank you.
And there's some more.
Actually, that stuff is trash. Do you want to put these little bits in the trash for me, please?
First, I'm gonna grab one.
You gonna give it the clamps? Watch your head.
Marcel's off to bed for the night. He says, have a nice day. See you next time.
See you next time, Marcel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great sleep. Oh, here we go.
So, I might need practice on these.
Yeah. There you go.
She's going.
My kitchen is blocking the trash.
Just throw it over, baby.
Just throw it over. I know we got to move some stuff.
Jugger says, different topic. Do you increase the VRF/current when running 2 motors from one drive?
The
As
VREFs?
with the Z-axis on the Sidewinder 2 Genius Pro?
You could. Technically, these motors, I think, will
Can
take...
you hold it while I try to grab
Yeah.
it?
I'm not sure what the specific amount of current these motors are rated at, but you really only need to run them. You don't need to run them at max all the time. And so if, say, each motor can run it at 1 amp, you don't need to run your stepper driver at 2 amps. 1 amp per motor. That will just make things unnecessarily hot. The Z-axis typically, the Z-axis typically doesn't take that much effort on the motor's part, so you could run half-ish.
The cupcake is done.
Out of the box, the stepper drivers for this are tuned at 0.8 of an amp. So.
Bill says, gotta go. Looking forward to hearing from you later. I stay up late, so no worries.
Perfect. I'll talk to you later. I'll send you a text message.
And Rusty Shackleford
Rusty Shackleford, welcome to the party, man.
says, late stream.
Yeah, well, our angsty 4-year-old is home from school today because of the holidays, so we thought, hey, let's stream anyway, and that means we can go longer. So, 'cause typically we got to shut things down around 4 to pick her up from school. So, not today. So we could have this is the after show. You're here for the after party.
You know, since some of our European folks are having to run to get to sleep,
Yep.
Drew had to run because it was dinner time. Maybe next time there's a holiday on a Monday, we'll start an hour earlier instead if I have the day off.
2, yeah.
We start when we do because that's when I clock out from work.
Yep.
So anytime I don't work, we'll try to maybe make it a little earlier. Let's see if that fits better.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, it's a pretty speedy benchy for a big bed slinger.
Got a mitten.
Okay, I got my mittens on.
Yeah.
Well, there's some wrapping on it. So you gotta
Wow, this thing's
pull it
saying
up.
it's hitting 13.4 millimeters cubed a second.
Yeah.
Flow. This is a silk filament too, so this stuff typically doesn't like printing very fast. So
We're missing Kyle.
Kyle, oh man, I didn't post it on Instagram. That's what I forgot.
Is that why we're missing Kyle?
Yeah, he's on Instagram. He
You just
doesn't.
didn't want to invite him.
He doesn't do the Facebook thing. He's one of those Zoomers, right? Is that what they call the Gen Zers? They're not into Boomer Book,
Honestly, I'm not into Boomer Book anymore either.
right?
We haven't seen Eve in a while either.
It's been a minute since we've seen Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's in France, so time difference, obviously.
Totally get it.
Yeah. Careful with the cords, kiddo. I don't want you to trip and knock a camera over on your head.
Go. Here's an avocado.
Thank you. Avocado.
Avocado. And there's some seeds in there.
Can you grow an avocado tree?
Yeah.
Oh boy. The kid needs a bathroom break. It is 4:36. Okay. I don't know what's going on at 5. And away we go. It's kind of like watching paint dry, but way more fun. Honestly, this has been a fun hobby for me. Started it 4 years ago, and still, every time I watch these machines make stuff, it's still just as fascinating and as fun to watch.
Okay.
If you're commenting, she had to step away to help the child. So, if you think our normal show is informal, man, the after show, super informal. Wow. It's looking pretty darn good. Just whoever's still watching and you're commenting, keep the comments in queue, she'll read them. I don't even know what camera are we on. Camera 1? Oh yeah, cool. They get print vision.
I'm coming. I'm coming. Wow. Okay.
I was saying that if you think the normal show is pretty informal, wait till the after show.
Right. Baron says he's off to dinner.
All right,
so
Baron.
long, and thanks for all the fish.
Yep. Thank you
So
for
long,
hanging
so
out
long,
with
so
us.
long, and thanks for all the fish.
What a great movie. And enjoy that cold weather down there.
Yeah, really. Stay
it's-
safe out down there. Like, I think that's the hardest part is when you're not used to having that weather and
Yeah,
you're
if
trying
you
to
get-
deal with it.
If they get any kind of ice on the roads, they are not equipped to drive in that. Yes, kiddo?
What's it smell?
Do you smell PLA melting?
I don't know.
I think you're smelling mommy's snack.
Oh, Mama's got her snack.
THRL says, hi, I'm a newbie X2 owner. Do you recommend getting a full range of nozzle diamonds from 0.2 to 1.2? I found a set somewhere. I will never use anything else besides... Will I ever use anything else besides 0.4?
It really depends on what you're making. So I typically stick with 0.4s just because I know most profiles are made for them and it works. I've messed with the 0.6 before and it's a lot of fun because you could print, they could extrude a lot more plastic. The volumetric extrusion rate is pretty good. And the resolution is pretty on par with a 0.4. Like it's you have to really look to see the difference. There are certain things that a 0.4 will do better, just smaller stuff. If you want to print just a bunch of big, strong things, a thicker nozzle will help with that. But when you can't put a bigger nozzle on, just go full ham. You do have to take speed into consideration, mainly for cooling, because if you're melting more volume of plastic, so that's more thermal energy stored in the melted material that you have to remove with your cooling fan. So you have to take cooling take into account cooling. So if you have, if you're running 2 fans or have like one of the auxiliary fans like the K1 and the Bamboo has, that's definitely helpful. And then the bigger the nozzle, the harder it is to tune certain things. So corner velocity and acceleration, stuff like that, flow. The smaller the nozzle, the easier they are to tune, because it's just less volumetric flow that you're dealing with. So it really depends on what you're making. I say get some, if you're comfortable with nozzle changes, get some different size nozzles and experiment and see what you like. There are some things that look really cool with big, fat, thick layer lines if you got like a 0.8 or a 1 millimeter nozzle. And sometimes you want a tiny nozzle. I have, for my Revo, I have a 0.25 nozzle, and it makes really nice fine detail stuff. It just takes longer. So, actually, I did a benchy with a 0.25 nozzle, and it was a 4-hour benchy, but it's immaculate. Why are we pulling on cords?
Because.
Oh, okay.
When the vacuum cleaner gets going.
Oh, you could just cancel it. Oh, can you just cancel it for the day? Oh, that's why you said 5, because of the vacuum. That makes sense. I was wondering, I was like, what's going on at 5? So. If Drew was still here, he could answer your question about bigger nozzles. But.
But of course, he's got dinner with the family. Way more important, apparently.
Dinner with the family is more important than us. No.
It's looking really nice.
Yeah,
This view?
it looks great. This is a fun color. I like this color.
We couldn't tell that you like that color. You're surrounded by the color.
Ah, it's a good color. Also, the eSun ABS Plus Gray, super nice color. I like grays. I'm boring like that. A lot of people are just like, I remember I watched a video about different materials, and a guy was saying that, ABS, man, there's so many new colors coming out recently. ABS is becoming more of a thing. It's not just grays and whites. It's like, but I like grays. It's some of my favorite colors. So, but yes, bright blues and greens and purples and all that stuff are still fun.
THRL wants to know, thanks. The nozzle change is a difficult process?
So on these machines, it's not necessarily difficult, but you have to be careful. You have your heat block and your nozzle and your heat break. The nozzle and the heat break have to screw into that heat block, so the ends of them are mated. So you don't want to screw the nozzle in till the head of the nozzle is flush with the heat block, and vice versa with the heat break. Well, the heat break there's no head of that. So when you do it, you want your nozzle and heat break to kind of float in the heat block. Otherwise, if you tighten that nozzle against the heat block and then tighten the heat break against it, the thermal expansion will slowly loosen that connection, and then what will happen is you'll get oozing between the nozzle and heat break, and it will ooze out of the outside of the nozzle and make a big plastic blob around your whole hot end. This happened to you once on the X1. Remember that? The green blob?
I don't know the thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
All my prints have been beautiful. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
right. Yeah, so, and then also, if you have a PTFE lined heat break and don't have an all metal heat break, that PTFE also needs to sit nice and flush against the back of the nozzle. And actually, when I do that, when I changed out that piece, the PTFE tube on the stock machine, I made sure it was like just a smidgen longer than it needed to be, so when everything's sandwiched together, it actually put pressure against that connection, so it created a nice seal so no plastic could ooze. I highly recommend going to like an all metal setup. It's a lot less finicky, and you could run more heat. But yeah, you need to tighten those down. And if you're going to be doing a lot of nozzle changes, I recommend just changing to a system that allows for simple nozzle changes, like the Revo. It is really good. Their nozzles are super high quality. And the nozzle change is really simple, and you never have to worry about oozing or anything like that. It's toolless, you do it hand tight, and they print great. A Revo setup prints awesome. So, be it from E3D or BQ. So,
Attila says, regarding nozzle size, I find the 0.4 still the Goldilocks size. 0.6 lines for infill, 0.4 for walls. Tried the 0.3 as well, but it could easily look like it under extruded.
yeah. The very first, like when this 3D printing was in its infancy, 0.5 was the gold standard, and then eventually 0.4 took over for whatever reason. So, who knows? What? Is she being silly?
He found a hair tie.
Oh, the cat found a hair tie. I found his stash. They're behind there. There's like 4 of them.
Oh, no, his stash is under the refrigerator.
There's a lot under the refrigerator too.
Oh, you cannot see floor underneath the refrigerator.
Really?
It's bad.
Am I gonna have to get something and fish them out?
It's bad.
Oh boy. So. But I'm pretty lame. I stick with the same nozzle sizes for the most part.
You can really see the shine on that in that view. That's really pretty.
Yeah, this stuff is shiny. It almost matches the anodized aluminum parts perfectly. It's a cool color hatchbox.
Tell us, there's actually some 0.4 nozzles are 0.5. Yeah, I read that right. Some 0.4s are 0.5.
Huh. I wonder if that's why a lot of times when you tune filament flow, even if your E-steps are perfect, your filament flow rate will be, you know, mid 95, 96. That could be why.
You got 12 minutes of after party left.
12 minutes of after party left. Well, we have technically, where are we at here? About 12 minutes left.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Huh? Well, according to this. So, I could hear the cat. We have a cat, and he likes.
He can make a toy out of anything. Literally anything.
Anything, yeah. But he really likes scrunchies, hair ties, and those little like the fuzzy straw pipe cleaner things. Yeah, he really loves those. You twist them around, and he'll have a ball until he somehow manages to get it under the fridge.
He's got a couple places he puts them. He has his stash in the pantry. He loves to throw them under the pantry door, and then he goes in after him. Like every time he open the pantry, he's so excited. Like he gets to go pick out a toy. He's like a kid in a candy shop. Like, oh, I get to pick a toy today.
Right.
Most of them go under there.
Cat.
Yeah. Oh, Attila says they checked him under the microscope. Checked him with the microscope. That's cool.
Kind of cool. I think a lot of that too. Like if maybe it's a cheap AliExpress nozzle, and the accuracy isn't quite as good. So I have a micro Swiss nozzle on this, and overall it's a pretty good nozzle, but I have noticed that I get blobs of filament that stick to the end of the nozzle more often on this than with the stock nozzle. And I think that's because the tip angle is shallower on the micro Swiss nozzle than on your typical E3D style volcano nozzle. So if you print a lot of, especially PETG, you got to take that into account. If you have a really shallow angle on your nozzle tip, PETG will curl, and it's super gloopy and sticky, and it will stick to that nozzle, and it will get drug all over the place. And halfway into your print, you'll get this burnt piece of plastic embedded in your print. So.
THRL says, thanks. I bought that specifically PTFE tube cutter and ordered a bimetal heat thing.
Okay.
But had not had the courage to use them yet.
Right.
And Attila says exactly, AliEx. Yep,
AliExpress, yeah. So that would be, if they're calling it a 0.4, but it's really 0.5, there's probably a lot of tolerance issues, yeah. So if you buy from, E3D, Micro Swiss, all those different more high-end, obviously you're paying a little bit more money, but you're going to have a more accurate nozzle. So, like overall, I like the Micro Swiss. It's a good nozzle. I just got to be mindful of the gloopy. It is more apt to grab a blob of plastic. So, the Revo nozzles have a steeper tip angle, but once you know, the nozzle comes up, then it hits a flat section. That flat section of the Revo nozzles is much bigger, and so if it does get a lot of globbing, it will stick to that. So this is kind of a, I don't know. Wow, can you guys hear that? Holy cow, he's going nuts.
Your overhangs are looking nice. This is a great view for your printing. It's a little high. Next time you get something up close like that, it'd be nice to get it like on level.
Oh yeah, bring the whole camera view down. That'd be kind of cool, yeah.
But this is a great view. We can see, the porthole in the benchy as it's printing there, and it's.
Oh yeah.
It was really nice.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't messed with retraction or anything on this material. I think this is my first time running this spool.
You just took it out of the box this morning, didn't you?
No.
Or out of the bag?
No. That one
He
I have.
says you're lying.
Yeah, right. The one I have in the bag is the Creality blue. This is we bought this summertime. We were messing with it. So I was using it in the SP5. Yeah, it's looking good. And pretty fast, not X1 Carbon, not Bamboo Lab fast, not K1 fast, but pretty fast. So, I was tinkering around with the Orca slicer, trying to just, how can I slice the most fastest possible benchy ever? Can I slice a 5-minute benchy, right, or a 10-minute benchy? And I couldn't get, like, my speed limit. I'm stuck somewhere in the slicer at right around, I think 21 minutes or something like that is the fastest I can get it to slice. And I put like my minimum layer time at 0.0001 second, maxed out accelerations, 20K and all that kind of stuff. And it's still stuck on that where Idea Maker, I could slice a 5-minute benchy and it will run. It won't look good, but it will run. So I'm missing something in there. There's some speed setting I'm missing.
Attila wants to know if he's correct that correct in thinking that the nozzles originated from a paintbrush system.
Like an airbrush? That sounds oddly familiar, but I'm not 100% sure. There are a few videos out there on like the history of 3D printing that might have more information. I'm not 100% sure where that came from though.
And then Jugger wants to know what speed is it running?
I have it set up to go speed. Here are my speed settings. Outer wall 200, inner wall 300. Infill 200, surface 150. And then accelerations, normal printing 5K, outer wall 2K, inner wall 3K. First layer 1500, top surface 2500, travel 5K. So, will it actually hit these numbers? Maybe. So, it's kind of, can it accelerate to get to that speed? You could tell, oh, I want to print 10,000 millimeters a second. Well, if you're only going 10 millimeters, it can't accelerate fast enough to get to that speed. So, a lot of times you're going to get more, you're going to lose more time in your print, or you're going to gain print speed by having more acceleration, as opposed to just adding more just straight up speed. Because if you're, depending on the size of your print, obviously, like on a benchy, movements are relatively short, and so accelerations are more important than actual speed. If you print big stuff with long straight lines, then yeah, you want some speed, because then it can have time to accelerate to get there.
I can watch it print all day.
Right, it's so fast. Oh, that thing fell. It's so fascinating. So I could do, we'll put your webcam on it, and that way you could just start a print back here, and you could be working and have your phone up with it.
I remember there was a time before, now it's no longer popular, but for a while there was that time where people would just put background music to like a quicken video of somebody printing, like a time lapse, not quite a time lapse, a sped up video.
Yeah, like a compilation.
Oh, it was so popular for a while.
It was, and then it kind of fell out.
Yeah, should have jumped on the bandwagon while you could have though.
Internet fad. They did a few shorts like that, a few time lapses. Weren't that popular. 80%. I'm excited to put this machine together and see it run.
We were 80%'s got 4 minutes.
Time estimate 6 minutes.
All right, I'll pause it for a few minutes.
ETA 5:02. Let's
pause
pause it for a few minutes. We'll
minutes.
finish the benchy and then we'll do our outro and then Rocky can run.
More your kiddos wanting to run.
Yeah. The cat wants to play. Good Lord. Wow, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that.
Okay,
see if
I'm
I can
curious.
hear it.
Can you all hear the cat in the background?
See, I'll throw you the cubes. You can get a better idea of the difference in quality. Oh yeah. Catch. Sports. Wow.
Oh, I actually did sports.
I threw him at the right spot. That's amazing for me.
Rusty Shackelford says, yeah, they can hear Muffin in the background.
Oh boy.
The best part is one of them sounded like a little ghost. Which means you can probably hear the lovely neighbor too.
Yeah, sorry if you hear the neighbor's stupid car.
The car is not stupid.
I think that was the cat. It's looking fancy good. Yes.
What?
Is she getting antsy?
Oh, she heard
The car?
She wanted to let me know that she heard the noisy neighbors.
Yeah, she lets us know every time the noisy neighbor pulls in or leaves. I think, trust me, kid, we know. We hear it. At 5 o'clock in the morning.
So Tillo says, I've actually never seen a YouTuber to check pose 400 to 500 millimeter per second prints to check regarding tolerance by LOLO. Wow, I can't say that. I don't know what's that. LOOL. Yeah. I think he means LOL.
Yeah.
Anyway, they might look good, but how about dimensional accuracy?
That is another thing. Typically a slower print will be, one, looking better and, yeah, have more dimensional accuracy. But again, depends on the mechanical motion systems of the machines. At work, we have a Bamboo Lab printer and we use it for functional parts, and it's been very good with dimensional accuracy. I haven't had any issues. If I tell a screw hole to be a certain size, it is that size. If it needs to fit in a certain area, it fits. So. But the Bamboo Lab printers, that's an exceptional machine. On a machine like this, it's a good machine, but I think at speeds, it probably won't compete with the Bamboo Lab for dimensional accuracy.
Sorry, he means by look. Sorry about that. Normally I'm really good at kind of reading between the lines there. Today's not a good on day for me.
Yeah. And there's certain things, no matter what the printer, with FDM, there's certain print artifacts that you will see no matter what, because it has to do with just the way the slicers slice the geometry and flow rate changes for different speeds and stuff like that. So.
Rusty Shackelford says, looks like a blue boat.
It's a blue boat.
Okay, you get paused for a few minutes.
Okay. Rusty Shackelford, I will gift you a blue boat. This blue boat is yours. Actually, no, this belongs to Zoe. I gotta make another one. Rusty Shackelford, I will make another blue boat that I will give you.
Oh, you just about did the ultimate parent no-no.
Right.
Gifting her toys to someone else without even her getting to touch them first.
Right. She'll lose it in 10 minutes. You could have a blue boat at your desk, and you can tell everybody, this blue boat is internet famous. People around the world watched it get made. Literally. Thank you for coming by the way. If you haven't figured it out yet, Rusty Shackelford is someone that works at.
We talked about that before.
They were saying they need to put it up on the big screen in the office up there. Saying, yes, put the stream up on the big screen.
That's not a conflict of interest at all.
It totally isn't. Ooh. Oh, we're working on the top here. 92%. Almost done. Another thing, since we were talking about speed earlier, things that will limit how fast it can go. Obviously cooling. And then another big thing is the volumetric flow rate. How much plastic that your nozzle can actually melt and extrude before it can't melt fast enough. So you may have, your nozzle temp set at what?
Rusty Shackelford says, it's up on the big screen right now.
Excellent.
Just kidding, just kidding.
I don't know. Well, if you're still there right now, man, you're working some hours.
So, cooling?
Yes, so cooling will be a limitation, and then a big one is actually how much volume of plastic it can melt in that time, right? So there's a test on Orcheslicer that you can do. It will tell you what your maximum volumetric flow rate is at a specific temperature. So yes, you could increase the temperature to increase your volumetric flow rate, but you could only go so far until you start really running out. So there's there's a few YouTubers. CNC Kitchen does some really good videos about that. I don't have the best ways of testing all that here. So like typically you'll see things like, a layer artifact. If you have a hole like on this, it's kind of, you can't see it on this one very well because it's matte colored, but there's a hole on the wall here, and so you see the outline, like where that layer is, where that hole started, all the way around the entire print. And what that is that it's not running as fast all the way around. It has to accelerate and decelerate and accelerate at different rates than the rest. Huh?
Where? Let's see it.
Oh, it's done. Bam. Okay, yeah. So it's so hard to tell. I mean, this is the Bamboo Lab printer, so actually you could really see it on here. That's where you can see it. Right? And that's on a well-oiled machine that always prints really accurately, but every one of those lines, there's some hole or overhang somewhere in the model, and that changes the volumetric flow rate and speed, right? Mainly it's going to be speed. So the nozzle is going to be the same temperature no matter what, but if you're pushing less plastic through it, the plastic has more time to melt, so it will come out hotter than when you're going fast. So yeah, that is that.
Hey Zoe, your boat's done.
Boat's done. Ooh, look at that. So
you already pulled it off the plate. Just put it back. Just put it back. Just put it back. Shh. Don't tell her. Just don't say anything.
Okay. Come get your boat.
Careful.
Careful. So wait. You want to do a purple boat? We'll do it when we're done. We'll do you a purple boat, okay?
Well, actually, this purple. I want to do it while you're doing the live stream.
Well, we have to finish the live stream. We've been on it for 2 hours.
You want dinner at some point, don't you?
Yeah. Well, watch out. That's gonna smash your feet. Let's.
Tilla says you can check now for some dimensional comparisons on the Benchy because by look it looks stinking awesome.
Right. It does look really good. One thing is that cooling was a factor, right? That is a pretty steep overhang. That's a super steep overhang, so cooling is a factor on this one, right? It could not cool that fast enough. So, other than that, the rest of it looks amazing.
When Tilla says, yeah, that bamboo print is awesome.
So good, right? So, here, I'll show the people my super Benchy.
Psst.
Psst.
Grab the boat and go.
Grab the boat and go.
Before
Okay,
he
so
gives
this
it away.
is, yeah,
It's on the printer.
my super Benchy. This is my best Benchy.
It's on the printer.
Where?
Right
On the
here.
printer.
Which one?
That's a fair question.
Here, your blue boat. This is the best Benchy I've ever printed.
Yeah, and all those other boats look pretty.
They look very pretty, don't they?
It's like
That's a good benchy. But that was with the 0.25 nozzle at 0.1 layer height, and it took 4 hours. So, yeah. I don't know what I guess I can measure the smokestack. Let's see. I have some other benchies here. Do some quick measurements. Okay.
When I'm in there.
I don't know what this was printed on. This is printed on the K1. So this is a 17-minute benchy on the K1. And the top of that smokestack comes out at 6.82 millimeters. This, I don't know what this was printed on, the SP5, I think.
Mommy, is
6.95.
going down? It's going down now.
It is, yeah.
You should do it quickly.
Yeah, you should print that boat quickly. Let's go chop chop.
Just get the machine running. Yeah,
Let's go.
so on the slower benchy, because this was done on my SP5, and I don't know, much slower than the K1. That comes in 6.97, something like that. And then this one printed at 17 minutes, 6.8 to 6.9. So yeah, 1/10 of a millimeter smaller on the smokestack. And I could see that being a speed thing, where it's going so fast it can't extrude as much plastic as it needs to for the dimensional accuracy. But also that could be a flow rate thing, a tuning thing. If you wanted a more scientific test would be to do on the same machine, do a fast one and a slow one with the same profile and see what the difference is. But we don't have time for that today. What we have time for now is a big thank you to all you that hung out with us.
Even through the after party.
Through the after party and those that came into the after party. Hopefully this was helpful for those of you who came in for the actual subject matter. I will post up that, I will update the download for the printer configuration.
Fan mod.
And the fan mod. So the link is there. I just got to update the download and it will just create a new version in Google Drive there.
I think I never saw the link come through from Baron, so the Discord link.
Yeah. So we'll get the Discord link fixed.
He may
too.
have put it on there, but I know sometimes YouTube's really weird about links in the chat. So.
Yeah, it gets weird about that. I think only moderators, I think, can put hyperlinks in a chat in a live stream. So
we've had a couple people get around it. Drew's gotten around it a few times by breaking it up.
Maybe, yeah. I might start making some people some moderators, so we'll see. Yeah, but I think that's the show. Is that the show?
I don't know. The sun's going down.
The sun's going down. That means the internet's going down, right? The internet runs on sunlight.
This isn't Canada. We don't need to thaw it out to keep it working.
Yes, Canada. Oh, Canada. It's like the North's version of, oh, Florida.
That's harsh.
What?
That's harsh.
What?
Oof, to compare Canada to Florida. Oof.
This is done on my SP5. This might have been done.
Jugger says, really appreciate you two and all of the content. We appreciate you for coming by, for sticking with us, for watching the videos. I mean, you all helped us get to how many views again?
300,000 views.
300,000 views. That is cool. When we
Right.
started this project, I didn't think that was ever going to happen. I
Yeah.
mean, I know you thought it was going to, but I didn't see it happen.
Eventually, I knew it was going to get somewhere. I knew I was going to put the time and effort into it to get some growth. Obviously, I could do more. I could be more active.
So we're losing the sun, and Attila's going to get our sun here soon, he says.
Yeah,
Sun
oh
comes
boy.
up here soon.
That's fun. What a world.
Oh, Baron, you would just come back.
Oh, has he seen it? Oh, she's got it.
Hey,
You're gonna have
sweetie,
to
can we have the
rewind.
boat for a second?
Can we see the boat?
Okay.
Okay. I'll have to do another one of the same color, but at normaler speeds, because I have it going
Daddy needs it.
cranking
Daddy
pretty
needs it.
fast in that profile. Speeds that
Careful.
the cooling can keep up with and get a comparison, and I'll post it on Facebook.
What do we need to do with the boat?
I need to show the people the boat. Wow, boat!
The people.
The people.
He'll give it back to you in a second. Hey, hang out there. He'll give it back to you in a second. Hang out over there. He'll give back in a second.
Is that a good view of it?
Yeah.
It's a boat
It's a blue boat. Says,
on the deep blue sea.
Says Rusty. Looks like a blue boat.
All right. Careful, kiddo. Oh, boy. So, Any more questions? Any more comments? Looks crooked.
Baron says making a living takes precedence.
I know, right? Gotta go to that job. Ah.
Man, it's late for a job, especially over there on the East Coast.
Some people might have hours like me. I work in an industry that never sleeps. Remember when we first got together and it was weird that I didn't have holidays off?
No.
You don't remember that? Oh, yeah.
It wasn't weird.
Oh, you were weird about it. You're like, why don't you
I
have
was
holidays?
not.
Oh, you were weird about it.
My mom works in the medical system. She works in the hospital. I grew up not having holidays.
Now, you're still weird about it with me.
Attila wants to know, when's the next show going to be?
Typically, we do these live streams on Mondays at 3 p.m. Pacific time.
So as long as, barring anything crazy happening,
Yeah.
which,
Happens.
you knock on wood, because,
So,
but barring anything crazy, we'll be here next week.
Yeah.
Same time, same place.
same bad station, right? Is that the same? Yeah. Sometimes we'll skip one a month or so just because things happen or we have stuff going on or the kid's sick or whatever. So we do the best that we can with the schedule that we have. So.
THRL says thanks, and Baron says one question. G4 P3, a whole bunch of zeros, is supposed to heat soak the bed for 10 minutes. How?
Oh, a G code to heat soak the bed. So it would be part of your start macro or start G code. So you do whatever the
It's 300,000, by the way. P300,000.
P300,000.
I counted up the zeros now.
Boy, yeah. So there's a G code for weight, basically setting a timer. And I don't remember what that I saw. I was looking through Klipper stuff and I saw that on there. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I thought that would be a good thing to do if you need to heat soak. Just scrolling through the Klipper webpage, but yeah, I forget what the G code is for it. But yeah, you'll set it so you give it a bed temperature. I know, right? I'm like lost in space here. Give it a bed temperature, say 60 degrees, and you want it to heat soak for 10 minutes. So you'll set up that timer. Wait for whatever their time value is, right? If they do seconds or whatever. So.
You got super lost there.
Oh man, I live my life
Just
in a form of
disappeared.
lost.
Snow tomorrow. Cool.
Not here.
Man,
Man, our forecast said we were going to get all this snow, and then at the 11th hour, nope, it's going to be cold and sunny. I want snow. I like the snow.
Yeah, you all got excited about it, and I told y'all.
I know.
Just watch. It's going to be like 80 degrees.
It wasn't 80. It was like 20 teens. It was cold. For us, it was cold. So, what's up?
Yeah, no snow.
Yeah, no. It's gonna start raining on Tuesday, right?
That
Or
was
Wednesday.
Okay. Baron said, Jugger says G4 equals dwell. DWELL.
Well, okay.
And Baron says the 300K doesn't equal 10 minutes if you drive by, if you divide by 60. I can talk.
Right. Yeah, I guess it goes in seconds. So, 600. 600 seconds, 10 minutes, right? Am I doing that right? Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, well, on that note, thank you everyone for coming and hanging out and being silly with us and having patience and learning along the way and being patient with our after show and our special guest that came in.
For all of you late liners
Yep.
who stayed up late to hang out with us, got up early. Tilla, I hope you have a great day. The
Yes.
sunshine today that we're sending your direction was beautiful.
Yep,
So
there you go.
hopefully you get to see it. Special for you.
Right. If you haven't yet, hit that like, subscribe if you haven't. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Ethereal Project 3D. I'll fix the Discord thing. Also, there's a forum on our website that I keep saying I need to be more active on, but I keep forgetting. There's a lot. It's a lot. Plus, I use Wix for my website, and it's really weird with notifications. It gets really goofy. Any other comments from you? She's like,
Tilla says, thanks for having me. Thank you for coming by.
course.
As always, says it's a great show. Rusty Shackelford says good night.
Good night.
Baron says thanks. Again, thank you for all of you all. You all are
Yeah.
awesome. You're the only reason we can do this.
Yeah, you are. This is because of you guys. But on that note, Thanks for watching and happy 3D printing. Ta-ta, bye-bye.